to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before the...
Alright guys, welcome back, and today I wanted to make an interesting video on a topic that I've really not seen a lot of other people talk about. People have talked, tirelessly, and not tirelessly enough, I should say, about, how to protect your liver on cycle, your kidney on cycle, your heart, all those things. But one of the biggest things that people do not talk about is how to better control your emotions on cycle. And with all the access we have now here in 2024 to various pharmacology, there's a lot of different things you can do to help to control your emotions and your mood while on cycle. So with that being said, guys, let's dive into my favorite medication for helping to control your roid rage. We'll go over what that medication is, how it works in the body, my experience with it, how it's helped to kind of calm me down in general, and all the benefits you can kind of expect from it. That medication is going to, of course, be memantine. With that being said, guys, let's dive right into the video. So memantine is an NMDA receptor antagonist, okay? So it works in a similar mechanism of action as the, very popular drug known as ketamine. Of course, it works a little bit differently, right? You're not going to be falling into a like K-hole type state while on memantine, but it is similar. Now, NMDA, right? It's essentially going to be a glutamate antagonist. Okay, so glutamate is kind of the opposite of GABA. It's excitatory. It makes you, more like go, 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 right? It's obviously good for some things, not good for other things. Okay, and there's certain anabolics that do raise glutamate. And if if you've used anabolics before, whether it's Tren or Test or whatever it is, you've probably noticed that you're a lot more stimulated. You're in a much more kind of sympathetic state, and you feel like this is why, too, sometimes people have trouble sleeping on anabolics, is because they're in this constant, stimulated state. And maybe in the beginning of your cycle, it can be good and helpful. As you go on with it, you kind of realize, hey, my sleep's suffering. I'm constantly on edge all the time. I'm more anxious than I was before, and all of these side effects kind of compile because you don't want to be in that sympathetic, super excitatory state all the time. And anabolics, I've noticed, can really push you into that state. So, memantine is going to be an NMDA receptor antagonist, meaning it's going to, again, kind of block the glutamate. And when you're blocking the glutamate, which is the opposite of GABA, remember, we're blocking, we're antagonizing, we're not agonizing, you get a more kind of relaxing, calm effect from it. Okay, so this is very, very helpful, again, if you're on steroids and you're kind of finding yourself to be more agitated. But this kind of blocking of the glutamate, which is an excitatory neurotransmitter, is going to be very, very beneficial at helping kind of calm you down and relax you. Okay, so that's how memantine works, right? So in theory, right, it can be very helpful, and there's a lot of compounds that I've tried and tested that in theory should help to stabilize your mood, but do not necessarily. And memantine's been my favorite. So in the next section of the video, guys, we're going to dive all into my kind of personal experience using memantine. So before I dive into kind of my experience with memantine, let me first off start by saying memantine is a drug that's given to people with Alzheimer's. Do not use, of course, unless under doctor supervision. For me, though, when I use memantine, this is just purely my experience, purely for entertainment purposes only, and it's in no way any sort of medical recommendation, as of course the disclaimer reads before every video, but I thought I would just throw that out there first. So when I was on memantine, I started to notice that when I was on testosterone, I was becoming, much more all over the place with my mood. Okay, so where before I had a more stable mood, now I noticed I was having higher highs and lower lows, which was kind of meaning that I was on this emotional roller coaster. Okay, where I would feel really good some days I would feel really bad, right? I was super like energized all the time, but not necessarily in a good way. Energized is probably a bad word to put it, but I was able to like go to the beach and go, do cardio for an hour at 2 in the morning, which is not normal and is not good. So I was kind of like, all right, I need to take a step back and I need to address this. So I tried a few different things, a few different natural supplements, things like L-theanine, things like CBD, which CBD in an inhalable form as a vape was actually pretty effective too. And maybe I'll make a video on that. But I tried a lot of different things, right? I even tried SSRI SSRIs to kind of help stabilize my mood. But the one that worked the best was memantine. Now, I've noticed memantine has helped me stabilize my mood really on every single androgen that I've tried, whether it's testosterone, a DHT derivative, a 19-nor, whatever it may be. Memantine for me is great at stabilizing my mood and putting me in a good mood, okay? It makes me think more positively about things. My mood is more stable throughout the day. Again, it's not jumping from I'm in a really good mood to I'm in a really bad mood to I'm really happy to I'm really sad, all over the place. It keeps me in a much more stable and grounded place, which is very important for day-to-day life. You can't be in this emotional roller coaster, at work or with personal relationships. And the other thing I noticed with memantine, and this is interesting because there's data actually saying the opposite. So before you know, if you read into the data, kind of attack me and say the data says the opposite, I'm fully aware of that. I was surprised at this too. But memantine helped me sleep a lot, which I noticed some androgens gave me a bit of insomnia, but memantine really helped calm my mind, calm those thoughts, relieve the anxiety, stabilize my mood, and help me get to bed at night. My sleep, according to my Aura Ring, was really, really good on memantine. Both my deep sleep and my REM sleep was amazing. So when I was on memantine, I almost felt normal. Like I almost felt like I wasn't even on an androgen. And really the most problematic compounds for me are 19-nors, things like, nandrolone. They make me super emotional. But on memantine, I was very calm and relaxed and I felt, good. Like I said, I felt almost like I wasn't on any androgens. My outlook was really positive. I was, flying through days, bad things wouldn't destroy me and good things wouldn't take me super, super high up. So that was kind of my experience using memantine. It's a great mood stabilizer. It's great at lowering anxiety. And for me, it was amazing for kind of helping me get to bed. So, I really want to make this part of maybe a larger series where I discuss more ways to help control your emotions while on androgens because it's a side effect or it's an issue that's joked about a lot, right? With roid rage and all that stuff. And while it is, funny, some of the jokes are funny, it's something that we have more control over than we think, right? So caring for our internal health is super important, but also, controlling our emotional health is also going to be, very, very important too. And there's also studies showing that memantine is neuroprotective, which is great. It might be able to reduce some of the negative side effects on your brain that kind of steroids tend to come with. Okay, so that is, my experience, my breakdown on memantine. That is why I think it can be helpful for you. Again, do not start or use this supplement without, your doctor's supervision. But again, I want to make this part of a larger series where I discuss various compounds, like I discussed inhalable CBD, CBG, other compounds that can kind of help to calm you down and stabilize your mood on androgens, because it's a big thing, right? I coach guys, I talk to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys do have a lot of mood issues while in gear, and it can very much so negatively impact your quality of life. With that being said, guys, this brings us to the end of the video. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to kind of comment, subscribe, like, all those good things. And down in the description box below, you'll have links to my website, which has various communities like my subreddit, my Discord, where I'll do giveaways. You can ask me questions, all those great things, and then all the kind of sourcing links that you will need for just about everything. With that being said, guys, thank you, take care, and have a good one.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.